Righto, welcome back to Betting on Bitcoin. This is Leon, and I'm here with Ards. Ards, how are you, mate?
Hey, good brother. Yep. How you going, man?
Very, very well. It's been a couple of weeks, been a bit busy at work, and I know you've been busy yourself. Thought we'd
Yeah.
catch up again.
Yeah, man. We're gonna try and do a bit of a routine now. So,
Yeah,
for everyone watching, we think we're gonna try and lock in Thursdays for the session, and then try and get it uploaded as soon as we can. So by the weekends, um, you can anticipate a video out maybe by Saturday. So just get some more regularity to it, some consistency.
yeah. At least
So
try and
look
get a
forward to
weekly
that.
video. Yeah, for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting to get a few views on those videos, and I'm sure as the market comes back, obviously the interest will come back again. But it's not just about that. Obviously, this time around, we trying to shed some knowledge on the space and where we're at these days, rather than just pick those coins when they start pumping. So
That's right.
anyway,
That's right.
let's get into this week's episode. WorldCoin. You were telling me about. I'm not really across this one, but you'd been looking into
Yeah.
this WorldCoin. Tell me about it, mate. Another scam.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
definitely another scam, but could also be a bit of a I don't know, like a global control scanning your
yeah.
retina thing. But I'll share this screen. So basically, what happened? It sort of kicked off last week, or it would have been late last week. It kicked off. Um, started started sort of in Europe. They were talking about it in Lisbon, and they had this little advertisement and stuff, and it was um, this chrome shiny ball. I'm on Twitter here. I don't know if you can see this. This is it launching in Kenya, allegedly. I mean, social media these days, you don't know what to trust. But
Yeah.
um, basic premise is they got this chrome orb, scans your retina, and they give you some world token for giving up your biometric data. Basically, is the long and short of it. Um, there was some word going around that guys behind it are behind some other scam, some other known scam. Oh no, that's right. It's the guy behind ChatGPT. So that's quite interesting. The ChatGPT
Really
guy. Yeah, he's
involved in
seems like
this.
he's going to be another megalomaniac, kind of try and dominate everyone. I mean, ChatGPT's got mixed reviews. Basically, it's pretty handy, but
Yeah,
I guess we haven't really talked about the implications, the negative implications of feeding this AI all
yeah.
of this information by using it. But now it seems that this guy is moving on to other things, which includes this world coin
I think
shill.
before you go any further, too, I think I heard with ChatGPT, you know, the guy that's running it, this main guy here, I believe is the guy that I'm talking about, sort of came into the project late, and then took off with it in the end, and sort of took it, commercialized it.
Is also now the guy involved with this world coin. So yeah, stop sharing anyway. Basically, a little bit dystopian, I guess, with this guy. Um, I mean, very unfortunate if you're dumb that you're going to give up your iris scan for a hundred world coin shitcoin tokens, but people have
Yeah.
done crazier things in the last 3 years.
Have a look where they're
But yeah,
doing it too, though. Yeah, like over in Nigeria, so they're probably promising these people the world, that have very little. Um, and,
well, yeah, but it's interesting because it didn't start there. So like late last week when this all kicked off and the buzz was going around, it was talking about Lisbon and Spain and all these places in Europe. And so this is a thing with social media these days. Like you don't know what to believe, right?
yeah,
So they had like all these screenshots that had people lining up, allegedly lining up, and thousands a day, and we're getting this many thousands a day that are signing up to it. But some of this sort of feels like, is that a marketing campaign in itself
mm,
to try and make it seem like this thing's got momentum and that everyone's doing it, and then people feel more
that's
comfortable
what
with
makes the
jumping on board and
project pick
doing it.
up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it is interesting now that it's changed and it is looking like Kenya or somewhere else. This says Kenya, I think. So, look, end of the day, man, we know that data is the most valuable commodity right now.
Mm.
And has been for a long time. Google and Facebook, they're all fighting for our information, right? And
Yeah.
data on us. So this just plays into that, which I thought was interesting. It's kind of crypto related in the sense they're giving out some shitcoin in
Yeah.
order to get
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
biometric data.
And people are lapping it
But,
up too by the looks of things.
allegedly, they're lapping it up,
Yeah.
man. So,
Yeah.
what else happened this week, man? There was some news of a shitcoiner getting charged by the SEC for shitcoining, basically. Who was that?
Yeah, so another big project going down. A massive project again. Hex. Pretty. I wouldn't call amazingly popular project. It's not like it was in everyone's portfolio, but there was a lot of chatter around it this last bull market. Richard Hart was the bloke that was behind it all. He was the email spammer. Um, he was made
Yeah,
yeah, famous from all those email spam threads that you used to get back in the day. Um, and basically, that project had a bunch of shade around it to begin with. There was a lot of skepticism that it was just a big Ponzi. Um, and like I said to you when we sort of had a discussion around this the other day, sort of I saw after all of the skepticism, you saw that project. I think the next stage of it was Pulse Chain, um, and which were just these other arms of it. I don't really know too much about it. I didn't get into that token myself, but um, he had a lot of interviews with some fairly credible um, crypto heads, people in the crypto space. And I watched a couple of them myself. Like I said, I never got into the coin, but I sort of started to think, oh, it might be a legitimate project. And some pretty like I even saw some reviews from some of the people that I've followed and I have been, and you've also been following for many years. That have been in the space probably it's got to be 6 7 years now with
yeah.
into the millions of followers on YouTube and that and they were sort of asking the question, is it a scam or isn't it? Um, and then what happens? The bull market comes out, and all the skeletons come out of the closet, and that's when you really see the fake shit coins um, present what they really are. We had BitConnect crashed in 2017. Um, what was the other one? Luna. We were saying this time round. When the bear market starts, that's when you really start to get those liquidity pressures on the coins, and that's when the sales start to decline and at rapid pace. Um,
Yeah.
and same things happen here. Um, yeah,
And what survives? Bitcoin.
that's right, 100%.
Bitcoin survives every time.
Yeah. So I guess
Every time, man.
yes. What was the he's been pinched by the SEC for laundering. Like I think I heard them saying that like one of the step down companies that was connected to this or whatever was purchasing like Lamborghinis and shit like that with people's actual funds that they've invested into this project, believing that their funds are sitting in a token, going to mature one day with whatever the promise was, how it works, and old mates doing the dodgy like Sam Bankman Fried was, siphoning fucking money around and spending it wherever he likes willy nilly and living the fucking high life while everyone else burns through their hard earned long term life savings.
And this is the standard Ponzi, right? It's like he. So it says here the SEC's charged him with Pulse Chain and Hex fraud. Basically, he was buying luxury goods, sports cars, some black diamond known as the Enigma.
That's right, the biggest black diamond in the
Supposedly
world.
the
Yeah.
largest black diamond in the world. But I mean, this is the thing, right? They raise the funds, they spin up a shit token, a shit coin, sorry. They raise the funds initially. They go and buy some stuff so they look like ballers, and everyone else thinks, man, these guys like a baller. He's
Mm,
got a Ferrari, he's got this, and then that attracts more and more people to go, yeah, man, he must be legit.
yeah.
Like he's not just Leon in his back room. This like I've seen this guy with stuff.
In his son's
Uh,
bedroom.
Sorry, brother. Yeah. Or is it? Is
Hey,
he asleep? Hey, Hugo, how are you going, mate? Yeah.
humble beginnings,
Um.
mate. Humble
Yeah.
beginnings.
Yeah. That's it. But it's all about the image, right? And I know you said there's not everyone had this in their portfolio is true, but if you jump on Twitter, man, the amount of people, especially attacking Bitcoin maxis, and defending people like Richard Hart. I don't know where they are now. They've probably topped themselves or disappeared off of Twitter.
At
But
least, hopefully,
I
the
mean,
Hex ones have anyway.
that's right. But I mean, he had a cult following. You know what I mean?
Mate,
So
we're talking into
um,
the hundreds of thousands at least. We're following that project. So,
for
yeah,
sure, man, for sure.
yeah.
So and they're all the same. Like it's funny because you look at XRP we've talked about last week. Look at some of these other big projects, Cardano. Now, Cardano, that guy, what's that guy's name? Fuck, the guy, I can't remember his name now. He's a scammer as well.
Yeah,
Cardano is a shitcoin. If you don't know that Cardano is a shitcoin, it's a shitcoin, right?
yeah,
The guy that runs that, he pretends like he's a professor, and they go with the angle of like, oh, well, everything else is a shitcoin, but you know, we're professors and we write peer-reviewed studies and peer-reviewed papers and blah, blah, blah. But all it's doing is spinning up a shitcoin and catering to a different demographic. Like, yeah, they're not the crypto bros that are looking for Lambos. They're like the sophisticated
yeah,
investor that gets suckered into that guy. Do you know?
yeah.
So,
And what the fuck
end of
has
the day,
Cardano delivered anyway? You know what I
nothing,
mean?
man.
Like, that's the like.
Nothing, man.
I've been a hater on that project even before we really got more maxi that
Mm-hmm.
like as we
Mm-hmm.
are today. I always disliked that project because it was always what was coming since
Right.
2017, mate. That was around. I think it was one of the first ones I bought around 30 cents or something like that, and
Yep.
and and it was like, oh, it's going to be this big thing. 2022, oh, it's going to be this big thing. It's just always fucking talk, man. Um,
Always another thing.
I think
You
that's
know?
what we spoke about as well. Like that's the difference between well, that's the problem with all these altcoins is that one, you're relying on the person, like let's just say for example Richard Hart being a legitimate bloke and not bullshitting to everyone, Sam Bankman Fried, etc., etc. So the main guy that's the main people behind these projects being legitimate characters and actually not trying to scam you in the first place, and then secondly, some of them like are trying to actually achieve things and bring real good tech to the world. But do they have the capability and the team behind them to actually follow through and achieve what they set out to do anyway? Because if they don't, you're going to see it fall over at some stage in the future as well. Um,
Yeah. And we've said this on episodes before. How are they different to simple software company? But this is what you have to ask yourself now that we're starting to get a bit more wise to what this whole crypto space is. Is the crypto space something that is needed? And if it is, why are they not just software companies? I mean, in reality, you can go on CoinGecko now and look at how many different coins there are. They can't all be currencies. There's 6 or 7 thousand on any given day. They're not all going to be currencies. So it's like, what are these tokens actually used for? And if you've invested in shares before, and you know that when you go to ComSec and you buy shares in BHP, you actually own a portion of that company. because you own shares, and there's so many shares on issue, and that represents so much portion of the company. And some of them you get dividends, like if it's BHP or whatever. Difference here is these are unregistered securities, which is why the SEC is going after them.
Yeah.
You do not own Cardano, the company. You do not own Ethereum, the company, when you hold Ethereum tokens.
And
You
and
own a
and it's
token.
yeah.
Don't own anything. This is the thing that like the penny really dropped for me was like we got into crypto for the gains, the mad gains, and they are there and they will come again. Like I'm not saying they won't, but in you really wake up and realize what you have been issued when you purchase a token does not give you ownership of the team or the company behind that. You realize they're just unregistered securities. You own nothing. You own vaporware, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It,
that's the only difference. That's the difference between Bitcoin, you know?
yeah. Definitely. That's yeah, 100%. You know, these all these other altcoins built outside of the Bitcoin blockchain, um, they're susceptible to control by the parties that created them, etc. Where as you know, if you've got all these layer two, layer three, etc. stuff that can be built on top of Bitcoin itself, um, and basically can achieve the same thing. However, the difference is
Mm.
it's decentralized completely. It's uncontrolled by the owners. So whatever this software does on top of Bitcoin, it will do that, but they can't run off with your money. That's the
And it
safe
won't
part.
change the issuance.
That's right.
And it won't change the issuance of Bitcoin.
Yeah, so it continues to be mined at the same rate, etc. And once it is all completely mined, your money just can't fucking disappear off a computer screen and into a Lamborghini or a
That's right.
fucking wild holiday around the world for the owner. So,
Exactly
like
right.
that's
Exactly
what
right.
everyone we're trying to get into people's heads is that's the difference
Yeah.
between Bitcoin and all the other alts, and that's why we're betting on Bitcoin every day. Yeah.
Mhm. And that's it, bro. And it's like not to scare you away from the space, not to kick you out of the space, not to say don't utilize market pumps, shitcoin pumps for making gains, but ultimately those gains that you make
Should be rolled
need to be
over.
putting into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's what you got to be doing is rolling it over to the one true asset, which is Bitcoin,
That long
and
term is
save
gonna
the shitcoin casinoing just for trying to make quick pumps, you know?
yeah.
That's what you need to.
Realize that there's going to be the market swings, and who knows how many more of these halvenings we're going to see these altcoin pumps because the SEC is trying to come down on this whole crypto space clearly because it it's Bitcoin isn't controllable for them, and so they're trying to you know um take it down and put something in place that they can control. That's obviously the WEF and the power at B's plan is to control the money supply of the world and with their one world, new world order, etc., etc. We can get into that more in future episodes, but basically, Bitcoin is your sovereign little savior there that you can actually depend on as your life savings, and you can put your money into that and know that it won't be controlled by another entity one day. As long as you've got your keys, it's yours. The saying goes, "Not your keys, not your crypto." Um, and yeah, so get yourself a private wallet of some sort. Um, get yourself your private key and start saving that Bitcoin in there because ultimately that's going to be worth a lot of money one day, and you'll be able to hand that down to your children and their children. But all these other alts, who knows, mate? There might be one more alt market. There might not be another one, or there might be another five. But like you said, roll that money into Bitcoin because ultimately, long term, it's going to be the one that will continue to be there forever.
Yeah, well said, man. It's the only one that can be trusted. And the reason it can be trusted is because you don't have to trust anyone can verify it. You can verify on the blockchain. Every 10 minutes, a new block is created. At the moment, 6.25 Bitcoin is issued. That's the issuance. Next year, April sometime, that's going to half. So it'll be 3.125 every 10 minutes being created, being issued. So, I mean, to me, it's like Greg Foss says, it's the most asymmetrical bet that he's ever seen in 35 years of investing. And it is, because think about everything else. We know that there's all this funny money being printed. Governments are reckless. They're just doing whatever they want, right? Debasing every currency on the world, on the planet. And here's an asset that has a finite supply of 21 million. Every 4 years, it's reducing how much of that supply is being issued. Most of it's already being issued. There's only allegedly 1.85 million bitcoins left on the exchange. So liquid bitcoins that are available for sale on
Mm.
exchanges. And it's shrinking every 4 years. It's like have to get off zero and hold some Bitcoin. Like
Yeah.
shitcoin as much as you want. If you don't have even $1,000 worth of Bitcoin self custody on a Trezor or a hardware wallet, then I think you're mad. Like
But remember too, mate.
you're
Like,
just running a risk of getting shafted down the
yeah,
track.
yeah, and but remember, we didn't hold Bitcoin early on either, mate. You know what I mean? Like it was, we were like,
100%.
nah, like
100%.
everyone, nah.
I lost you. Lost the mic. He's lost the mic. Be back in 3 seconds. Technical difficulties.
Is that better?
There he goes.
All
Yeah.
right, sweet. Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties through the rant there. But we are 100%. And the reason that we do these podcasts now is because we're trying to fast track everyone else's learning so you don't have to get rug pulled like we have.
Yeah,
And so you don't get through another bull cycle.
and
Like you
not
said, there
have
might be
Bitcoin.
one,
Yeah.
not have Bitcoin and be kicking yourself, you
Yeah.
know?
You need to
Um,
get Bitcoin. Stop being scared by that high price because it's far higher than all the other coins. We know that. But what you don't realize is that that 0.0001 of a Bitcoin that you buy that's worth $3,000, one day it's going to be worth a fuckload more, and that's for certain. I think the stat, if I haven't mentioned this on the videos already, once we have full all of the coins are mined, if the a whole world was to each person was to share in Bitcoin and it was used around the world as a world currency, having 0.03 of a Bitcoin would put you in the top 1% wealth of the world. So don't be scared by that big number, guys. One day, if I'm banking on it, and if you're a crypto enthusiast or a Bitcoin enthusiast, long term believe that Bitcoin and digital cryptocurrency is going to be the future, then you want to be holding it and accumulating as much as you can. And to get 0.03 of a Bitcoin at the moment, what's that worth, mate? Do the maths for me, yards. I can't figure it out off the top of my head.
knows? But we're 30K roughly US, aren't we?
So point one would
The
be
point,
3 grand. So
point one's 3 grand
point
US.
zero
So
three would be about $1,000 US. $1,500 is going to put you into the world's top 1% of wealth. Like that's how is that not a smart investment? Um, and even if you don't believe in it, we all know diverse portfolios is the best portfolio to have when it comes to invest.
exactly
And
right.
why not get $1,500 worth of Bitcoin if supposedly it's going to put you in the top 1% of the world, mate? That's a pretty good gamble in my eyes.
Imagine if you'd done that in 2015.
Fuck that.
Imagine if you'd done that in 2017. Like, you only have to keep looking back at these previous cycles. And, I get banging my head against the wall talking to non-crypto mates because you can't get through to them. And you mentioned is so key. We did the same thing. You look at the Bitcoin price, it went from $1 to $20,000 or $1 to $60,000 this last bull run. Not in that bull run, but over its life.
Mm.
And so you come into the space going,
It's too
what's the
much.
next big? What's the next Bitcoin?
Yeah.
There is no second best. Michael Saylor says it. There is no second best. There's
Mm.
Bitcoin and then there's crypto assets. Bitcoin is the one and only. It doesn't matter what the price is. You can't look at Cardano or XRP and say it's 50 cents
It's
or
gonna
it's
be
8
that.
cents.
Yeah.
It's going to do a Bitcoin. Nothing's going to do a Bitcoin, guys. I'm going to bring up a chart in one of these future episodes. I'll bring up the charts. We'll just do a chart episode of all of your favorite shit coins. Maybe we'll do a live and we say dial in and tell us your shit coins, but we'll go through all the main ones versus Bitcoin. Everything trends towards zero when compared to Bitcoin. That's a fact. We
Mm.
can jump on TradingView and we can
Yeah.
say XRP. Where's
Versus
the XRP
BTC.
army? Here we go. Where's the Chainlink army? Chainlink versus BTC. They all trend to zero, guys. Like there is no second best. It's Bitcoin. A little bit, $1,000. Self custody it. Forget about it. Come and thank us in 10 years and buy us a drink. You know.
Yeah. Fucking oath. Or a Lambo.
Or a Lambo, whatever tickles your fancy. We won't need it. Well, we might because we lost all our Bitcoin in a boating accident. We're just humbly trying to accumulate again now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
look, mate. I think that's a great way to finish. Really touched over a couple of scams and then a good solid chat on what's good about Bitcoin. So let's wrap it up there before it starts to drag on too long. And
Hmm.
catch
See
you
you next
all.
week.
Yeah, see you all next week. Betting on
Roger that.
Bitcoin.
On Bitcoin. Tell your friends. Dial in. Tune in next week.
Yeah, get
Cheers,
on board,
brother.
guys. Sweet.